E.T.N.
E.T.N. Movies, games, oh, and boobs.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're gonna get some facts straight here. Now, a couple of people, I announced that I was gonna do this video on the Nation, and the first thing a couple of people asked me was this gonna be a bullshit video? And it's not gonna be a bullshit video. But there's some things out there that's still concerning me with how people are viewing this movie or what they think is gonna happen. There's so much speculation going on that it's got me to the point that I'm concerned. Really, I am. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm concerned. We're going to get to that in a minute. First, there's a couple of things that need to be cleared for some people out there who I guess they just miss a couple of things. Maybe they weren't present when these things were discussed or when they were, I don't know. But we're going to clear the air one final time. And anyone after this video who still believes what they believe, that's on them. So we're going to get some facts straight about what's in this movie, what's not in this movie, what can be expected from Godzilla 2014. So the first thing I want to touch upon is the 2012 Comic-Con trailer. The one where we see the charred centipede type monster, whatever you want to think it is, in the picture. Okay, and I'm going to pull that picture over. Let's just pull that up. And there he is. That is the centipede monster. So I want to make this very clear to anyone out there who thinks this monster or hopes this monster is going to be in the trailer. Don't expect it. Chances of that monster being in the movie. I said trailer, movie. Chances of this monster being in the movie is slim to none. Okay, if it is in this movie, it's probably going to be the biggest surprise you'll ever expect, because at this point, it is more or less been confirmed that this monster was only a concept design. It is not going to be in this movie. So don't get your hopes up about seeing it, because you probably won't. And you don't want to disappoint yourself. And that's going to pretty much be the theme of this video. Don't get your hopes up too high about certain things. Don't expect certain things, because you're only going to be disappointed with the movie. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now, another thing I want to touch upon with this monster that I just showed, a lot of people are calling it Vishnu, okay? Vishnu is not this monster's name. In fact, this monster has no name. You can pretty much name it what you want, but I think the best name to call it would be Charred, okay? Because it's pretty much dead. Vishnu is actually the god that Mr. Oppenheimer, for quoting the famous "I am become death, the destroyer of the worlds," which actually was, that is not made for Godzilla. That was an original speech by him during the creation of the atom bomb. That was well before Godzilla 2014. So Vishnu in his speech is the actual god, or a god that he's referring to from a Hindu scripture. Vishnu and this charred monster have no ties to each other. They're not, together. Vishnu is the name of the god in the Hindu scripture. That is who he's referring to. He is not referring to that monster. So some people know this and they still call him Vishnu as a nickname, but there are people actually out there that think this is Vishnu. There's no Vishnu. There's nothing. Which brings me to my next point of names. Tallighan does not exist. Okay? This was a fabricated story by somebody who was trolling many months ago. I almost fell for this troll. That story is what started the bullshit series. If you go to my channel, ironically, it's the most popular video I have to date. It's the one called Muto Monster Name Confirmed. It's got like over 120,000 views. And in that video, I talk about Tallighan. And I remember it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and even with that, I still said in that video it's 50-50, and even in the title I said take with a grain of salt. Tallighan is not real. There is no Tallighan. Tallighan was a fabricated story by a troller. There's some people who still believe in it. If you still believe in it, this is me telling you that it is 100% officially confirmed by many different sources, including everybody here on E.T.N. There is no Tallighan. Tallighan is a lie. Tallighan gone. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now we're going to move on to the whole two Godzilla theory. This was a theory that started, I don't want to say it was a troll, it was somebody who just shared their thoughts that actually got to see the 20-minute footage from a media outlet. And I remember doing a video about it because I thought it was an interesting thought, although I didn't agree with it. I thought there was some things that you could kind of look at that might bring it into question, but overall, there's not going to be two Godzillas. I mean, if there is, again, it'll be another big shocker, but I think we can safely say now, with all the footage that's been released, with all the trailers, all the TV spots, and then the Wondercon footage, I think it's safe to say at this point, there is not going to be two Godzillas. There will be just one. The popular theory that I'm going with is that he looks one way before he gets nuked, and then after he gets nuked, he looks another way. I also think, and this is my personal opinion, this is not confirmation, this is just one minor speculation by me. Something tells me there may be a chance that we might see his spikes change in size depending on whether or not he's going to fire his atomic breath, as opposed to it lighting up. But that's just me. That's just a wild thought by me. But overall, no two Godzillas. If you've heard that theory, it's just a theory. Does it mean it's 100% confirmed that there won't be? No, I will admit that. But when you consider the sheer size of the movie, and right now there's rumors floating that's either an hour and a half or a little over 2 hours. I don't know which is real. I don't know which is true. I'll just wait till the movie comes out. But either way, there's not enough time in this movie to develop two Godzillas and two stories for two different monsters, especially when you still have two other monsters you have to create a story for. Which leads me to my next point, Muto. Now, a lot of speculation going around about these monsters. People are wondering if there's going to be more than two. People are wondering if there's going to be up to 5. I mean, my only mystery, unsolved mystery at this point about the Muto is the monster that runs through the track with the spikes. There's some people who believe it's Godzilla. There's some people who believe it's not. There's some people who believe it could be a Muto that's not seen yet, except there, because the one at the airport doesn't have spikes, and some people think the one with the wings doesn't have spikes. I haven't seen enough evidence to argue either or. I just know or feel very confident that the monster going through the bridge is not Godzilla because of the size of the spikes, the size of the monster going through the bridge relative to the bridge height and the water on the bottom, which Aaron Taylor Johnson's character jumps off the bridge into the water. When you look at Godzilla's size and the size and distance relative to the bridge and the water, it doesn't make any sense. With that said, I believe that there may be an outside chance for a third monster, but for the most part, I'm going to stick with the 2. And I'm going to go with the most popular consensus that there's an evolutionary process behind these 2 monsters, which convey the idea that there may be more than 2. I definitely don't think there's going to be 4 or 5. I think that's just too much to bring into the fray. If you do see 4 or 5, you might get a shot of a monster that was a failed experiment. You might get a small fodder for Godzilla to just step on real quick. But even that's a stretch. I think for the most part, it's going to be 2. The 2 that we've seen in the trailers. Or, you want to know something, to be honest? I don't think we've seen 2 in the trailers. I think we've seen 1. I think it's the same one in the airport. I think this one in the airport's the one in the forest. I think the one in the forest and in the airport's the one that's breaking out of its cocoon or whatever you want to call it that's in that one trailer. And I'll tell you why. Nobody, even the people at Comic-Con in 2013, mentioned anything about the one in the airport having wings. You saw the Wondercon trailer, and if you haven't seen it, the first thing the Mutos does when he turns around and looks at Godzilla is he spreads his wings. Now, that doesn't mean that he flies. There are plenty of bugs that have wings that don't fly for whatever reason. But I think, really sit down and think about everything we've seen. All the scenes we've seen surround the same portion of the movie. Airport, Hawaii, tsunami. It's all basically the same shit. So I don't think, even if there were 5 monsters in this movie to fight Godzilla, I don't think you're going to see all 5 of them within that many different scenes that all kind of revolve around each other. I think honestly, I don't even think we've seen the second monster yet. That's what I think. After seeing that Muto spread its wings at Godzilla, I don't even think we've seen the second monster. Even, and I know people are going to say, oh, but during the Halo drop, there's that monster that's latched on to Godzilla. Well, you know what? Take a good look at that picture again and look at the wings sprouted on the Wondercon. They look the same. And he's still not that big, even when he's latched on to Godzilla. So I think what people need to do at this point, and I know speculation is fun. I've done it. I've done tons of it. But I stopped doing speculation quite some time ago because the more the trailers show, the more the magic is happening in front of our eyes, and there's still that one little magic spot taking place when nobody's paying attention to, and that's what I'm looking forward to. The other reason I stopped speculating is because speculating can be very dangerous after a certain point. If you start speculating and really kind of trying to show people that what you're seeing is real, you start to believe it. And then when you start to believe it, you expect to see it. And then when you don't, guess what happens? You get disappointed. Don't put yourself in a position for this movie to disappoint you. I don't think it's as complicated as some people out there are making it. I think I've pretty much covered everything. No Tallighan, no Vishnu, no centipede monster, no two Godzillas, no Toho, just to be clear, but I think we all know that by now. I definitely don't think there's going to be more than two Mutos. And if we do see another monster, I think that might be the big gag, that might be the big surprise. But until I see it, I can't really count that. You know, that's just speculation. I don't think we've seen the second monster yet. The second Muto, the flying Muto, because I've heard it referred to as the flying Muto and the winged Muto. Two different things. Winged Muto is what we saw at WonderCon. We have not seen the flying Muto yet. What we have seen of the flying Muto is a very, very small glimpse of the 25th trailer when we see the one flying down from the sky and nosediving into the water. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to cover that for everybody. That, you know, just make sure you know what's going on in this movie. I don't want people setting themselves up for disappointment. Do not over-speculate too much. I know it's fun, but man, I see people speculating some shit that I'm like, how do you see that? I'm like, how do you see that? And it concerns me because if you keep doing that to yourself, you're not going to enjoy this movie, because what happens if everything you speculate that you think is going to happen doesn't happen? Then you're going to be disappointed, my opinion. So know the facts. Know that we only have about 3 weeks left. Movie's around the corner. Let's let's talk about what we've seen and not talk about what we think we see. I see two Mutos, one that's not revealed yet, one that has wings and 8 legs, and I see a badass Godzilla. Just one of them. And I don't see a Vishnu or Tallighan or any centipede as of yet. However, the monster that goes through the train tracks is a mystery to me, but I'm willing to wait 3 weeks for that mystery to be solved. Until then, guys, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page.